Daniel, you're muted. Oh, hey. You were muted. I don't know if you were talking. Oh, okay.
Guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Someone's at work.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait a couple minutes because we're a tiny bit early.
Mm-hmm.
'We're growing. 2 more minutes. Are any of you guys going to take it as soon as it opens tomorrow, or are you waiting till later in the weekend?
I'm waiting till Monday.
Daniel, what are you doing? And the rest of you guys?
I'll probably wait till Monday.
Monday. The other two are silent. You know, on one of the exams, if I can convince 3/4 of the class to show up, I have an awesome gift that comes with that test. So we'll see how persuasive you are with your teammates. I would need, I don't remember exactly how many are in our class, but I think it's like 16 people to show up with the camera on for a minute. And I have a cool gift to give you all. So we'll see if we can pull that off.
Is that for today?
No. One of the future tests.
Oh, one of the future tests. Okay.
I'll post a big old announcement because otherwise you have no way of trying to con your team classmates into anything. So, okay, less than a minute. Okay, so we've hit 4 o'clock. And to respect all of your time, I'm going to kind of share the things that I want to share with you and then ask if you have any questions. This exam has a lot less material than the first one did. Some of that was review, but when I give you a little bit of a breakdown of how the questions play out on this exam, those of you that were comfortable with the homework will feel pretty good about that. I believe there's only 2 PowerPoints this time around. So that also helps getting it all together. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the questions in the exam. So the first 10 are literally from your homework. And by homework, I'm talking about that 30-point DNA gene expression homework. The purpose of giving that to you, I knew some of you would kind of have to suffer through it a little bit, but my desire was to first allow you to work on it and help teach and remind yourself. Because if I had just put all those DNA things on the exam, I think that would have hurt. Hello there. So again, 10 of the questions on that test are based on your homework. So definitely make sure that you take a chance to look at the key. Someone emailed me earlier and she had a hard time finding the key, and she told me something I didn't realize. For some reason, it showed up all the way on the bottom of announcements. So please look at the title. It says DNA or DNA homework, and then instantly you'll be able to find it. And there's a key in there. So you can see the point breakdown. Hey, Lisa. But on the bottom, you can kind of sort of compare it to what you had. So again, those of you just coming in, 10 questions on the exam are fully from the DNA homework. So please make sure that you are able to take a look at that. Then there are going to be 5 questions on the lac operon. The lecture video gives a lot of hints as to what I want you to focus on. So for the operon, I'm going to ask that you please all take the time to listen to that video portion again, because 100% what I say in the lecture video is driving the 5 questions that are on the exam related to that topic. Then 11 of the questions are on one single picture. If you remember on the first exam, I also said there's a picture of the cell wall that appears multiple times. Well, there's one picture on this exam that appears 11 times. That's a lot. So I'm going to share which picture that is with you so you can see it. Make sure you study it. 1 second. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
This picture is literally on your exam 11 times. So what can I ask you? What's happening at A, which is right here? What's happening at B? What's happening at C? If I put an arrow right here, if you look up for a second, we're here where it looks like it's cracked up, and I ask you, how do you know what it is? You can identify what's happening, but here's the word dead. So remember, I kept saying in the lecture video, please, for these 11 questions, everything I ask you is verbatim in the lecture video, covering transduction, all of these processes, transformation. Please make sure that you take a look at that, because that's 11 questions on one topic is a lot of questions for you to miss it and not particularly study that. So that already covers 10, 20, 26 questions. That's quite a bit. Then you're going to have 8 that are on the last portion of the second PowerPoint. What is that? That's the things relating to genetic engineering. It's asking you, what is PCR? You remember last time, what was it? Biofilm. So in biofilm, what you actually had was kind of, I won't say an essay question, I hate those. It's short answer. It asked you to talk about it and what's it made of and give an advantage. Well, this time the question that I treat the same way is related to PCR. So you want to know what it is and what are the steps and what are the temperatures and what's the purpose of PCR. With genetic engineering, some of the examples are, what does a ligase do? And the answer is, it sticks things together when you've cut it up. Well, how do you cut up these DNA strands? Does anyone remember what you cut a DNA strand with? It starts with an R. Perfect, thank you. A restriction endonuclease, exactly. There's a plasmid. We have gel electrophoresis. If I ask you, what is that for? The answer is to visualize DNA. In other words, if I give you DNA, it looks like clear water. You can't see anything. You need to load it into this gel and run it. So again, there's 8 questions related to that portion. Remember, some things are applications. So why do we do these things? It's for vaccines, it's for growth hormone, so there's many different examples. Just take a peek at those last few pages of that PowerPoint. And lastly, there are quite a number of true and false questions on this particular exam, probably more than the first one and definitely more than the next 3 that you're going to have. I ask you questions related to mutations. So a silent mutation means it is a different amino acid, true or false? Carmen's shaking her head.
Oh.
False, because that's exactly what a silent mutation is. It means that it codes for the same amino acid, even though a letter changes. So those true and false questions are very much related to mutations. I have a couple of questions about the Ames test. Obviously, that was something new, but it's also on your homework. Phenotype and genotype are mentioned. This exam, 50% of it comes from the first PowerPoint, 50% comes from the second PowerPoint. So as long as you're following that, I think you'll feel pretty comfortable about it. Are there any specific questions? Those of you that came late, I just want to mention a couple things. 10 questions on the exam come from the DNA homework. 5 of them come from the LAC operon, and 11 of them are, I believe it's the last picture of your outline. I showed the picture previously. So that right there is 3/4 of your test to give you an idea what to study from. Please focus on that homework. Again, my purpose of giving that to you was so that you can pre-study it, because many of you probably had biology long ago and you just don't remember, or maybe you just didn't remember it. So I'm taking it from the homework, putting it on the exam. By studying your homework, and the key is posted in an announcement, you'll be able to find it pretty simply. Are there any specific questions you have that you want to ask about or talk about?
Do you mind showing the picture again?
No, of course. Give
Thank
me
you.
one, of course. This picture. I believe it's the last page on your outline. It might also be somewhere in the middle of the outline. I know it shows up in your PowerPoints. This picture is on your exam 11 times. Literally 11 times, God bless you. So 11, that's a lot. And they're at least each 2 points apiece. Some might be 3. So a little quick math will tell you want to understand this picture. If you listen to the lecture video, this review is a lot more simplistic because I gave away all the questions in the lecture video. So if you review the lectures one last time with this particular picture, I tell you which process is A, I tell you which process is B, I give you the hint that you see that it says viral delivery. So right there, you should know that it's not transformation, maybe it's transduction. Then here, I keep using the word dead when we talk about picking up things from the environment. Anyone remember the name of the scientist that works with transformation? Starts with a G.
Like Garrett's or it's like, I can see the word, but it is with the G.
Griffith.
Griffiths.
So
like
you're close.
Gryffindor.
Griffith, you're close because there's some multiple choice there, so you will be fine. But I ask a couple things about that. So that one picture, I can't stress enough how much you want to go back and listen to that lecture video portion, because it truly covers everything on the exam from start to finish. Do you have any specific questions? This one, I believe, is a lot simpler than the first exam because there are only those 2 PowerPoints. So less information usually for students means the grades go up. Although some of you perform so incredibly well, I don't know where your grade's going up to. Are there any specific? I don't know. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. I have to look because I genuinely have no idea. Before I go count them, there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys. So let me show you that before I close it to start counting questions on a test. Can everybody see this? Okay.
Yeah.
So underneath where you have module 5 in the final, remember all of the supplemental materials are here. If you click under additional exam materials, all that you're going to find are a bunch of terms. So these are not for extra credit. Don't turn them in. This is just for you. When you look at this, what I want you to know is that you have word recognition. For example, pili, you should think of conjugation. F plus, F minus. HFR is high frequency, the magic number, 1,000 times faster. Transposon, jumping genes, bacteriophage, just think transduction, for example, F plus, F minus. So please, when you look at these words, you should have a comfortable understanding of what they are. If you can look at it and spit out a couple quick words like I did, That will also help you with the true and false questions because this is geared towards those terms. So let me check out Daniel's question. 1 second. I have to count. I genuinely don't know. Did you guys hear his question? He wants to know how many short answers there are. I haven't seen one yet, and I'm on question 12, so. Apparently not a lot. 1 moment. I'm counting there. That picture is on there 11 times. So. One.
Only one.
Mhm. I mean, if I scrolled quickly, so let's say I made a mistake and possibly two, but there was one that I absolutely saw right at the bottom. And I already told you what it would be, essentially. So. And that's not the kind of question you're supposed to ask me, mister. You're supposed to say, let's talk about transposons.
I have a quick question.
Yes, of course.
Hi. So are we gonna have an essay question? I came in a little late.
Oh, essay?
An essay question, are we gonna have one?
You have a short answer one. I don't do essay questions because I hate grading them.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
What is it about?
Well, I'm not telling you that.
I'm just playing, I know.
I'm like, that's not a bad question, but no. Patricia, want to ask me something? Or Desiree, I'm looking to see who's in here. Anybody want to ask me something? You know you want to ask me something.
You have been pretty helpful, like just giving us the information that's going to be on there, and I could figure it out.
Okay. So if we were in person, just to give you an idea, you would be able to figure me out because everything I write on the whiteboard is what's on the exam. So in the lecture videos on Educreations, every time I start scribbling and writing stuff, you should go, oh, she's going to put that on the exam. So if you listen to those lecture videos again, you will be in incredibly good shape. Traditionally, the grades on this exam tend to fly much higher. Please take the time to do the extra credit. It's half a letter grade's worth, and it will help you study. It's the same as last time. That's never going to change. So please, any questions, if you come up with them, reach out to me. But this exam fully parallels the 2 lecture PowerPoints. And I keep saying 2, I know that you have them broken up into half-hour increments, but if you look onto that supplemental page that I was showing you the exam questions, if you see there's only 2 PowerPoints and you can print them out while you listen to the lecture video, a good way to study is take notes onto that PowerPoint so that you don't have to keep listening to the lecture video, and instead your notes are all on the PowerPoint, and then you can study from that anywhere. Even at work, Carmen.
I'm at the library because my boys won't let me study.
Oh,
So I'm
I
actually at the
see.
library.
Library works too, anywhere at all. That's just easy. It's a piece of paper you can take with you. Are you sure you don't have any other questions? If you come up with anything, you can always email me, but I officially want you to feel comfortable that most of the things that you want to study are directly coming from the lecture videos. So we have a question in the chat, and it's asking if the homework's going to be on the exam. 10 questions, Lisa, from that homework is on the exam. And actually, it's the first 10 questions. That's it? Nothing else? This is a quick one.
It will have the DNA picture, right? That's what you meant by the 10 questions. It's the DNA picture. And then,
Well, there's a few aspects. So there's the DNA replication picture. There's there's questions about transcription and translation and possibly a mutation one. So it's directly the same information that's on that homework.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. nothing else, by knowing what to focus on your studies, that's really what you need for this exam, because my lecture videos for Unit 2 are very inclusive. So you're going to be okay as long as you follow those. If anyone is uncomfortable with an area, I'm really strongly going to suggest that you print out the PowerPoints and take notes directly on there as you listen to the lecture again. If you get through all of the lecture videos prior to taking the exam, you have put yourself in the best possible scenario to succeed on it. Well, that was fast. You guys are quiet. So those of you that didn't hear me, I haven't decided on which exam yet, but one of them, I'm going to kind of gamble with you guys and say, if we can get, I said 16, but maybe I'll say 18. I don't know how many, a set number of you to come in, and I'll turn that camera on for like at least 30 seconds so I can say, oh, hi, Patricia. Now I know who you are. I'm picking on her because her camera's off. Then I have a really wonderful gift for you guys for that. Mwah, there you go. Then I have a really pretty fabulous gift for that particular exam that can guarantee you some pretty amazing, perfect scores. So if you have influence with any of your classmates or you study with them, maybe reach out to them and say, hey, look for her announcement for either exam 3 or exam 4. I'm deciding which one. I don't know yet. Okay.
And you want 16 people to show up and show their faces on camera?
I might say 18. They can just flicker and go hi and go away. I know some people are camera shy and they don't want to. I mean, you can see my double chin on a camera. Don't have one in person. You know, what are you going to do? Just for a second. It's a show me that you all really want to hear this magical thing I'm going to give you. It'll either be exam 3 or 4. So when you see the announcement, if you talk to any of your classmates, reach out to them and say, for the greater good, log in for 5 minutes. That review will be 5 minutes. Deal? Okay.
Deal.
It was nice seeing you all. Please reach out to me if you need anything, and go listen to some lecture videos, and have a nice weekend.
Can I talk to you after everybody's gone, if that's okay?
Yes, of course. Don't hang up then.